Good evening and welcome to Tiskre for tonight's Meeste Esiliiga T10, the Estonian T10 domestic league. This is the opening match featuring the Tallinn Super Strikers and the Tallinn Hippos. My name is Terry, and I can tell you that the Hippos have won the toss and elected to bowl first. And I do believe the reason they've gone for that is they're expecting that when the sun gets a little lower in the sky, it could be a little bit more difficult in the field later in the evening. Time will only tell if their thinking is correct. The umpires are out in the middle, Dulita and Rana. And the Hippos are coming out onto the field now in their pink and blue uniforms. And we're just awaiting the Super Strikers opening batters. And if you think your eyes are deceiving you when you're looking beyond the pitch at the rope and thinking it looks as though, oh, they must have painted the 30-yard boundary very, very brightly, but not put out a rope. No, that white line you can see in the background is indeed the boundary rope. It is T10, so we have 50-meter boundaries. Shorter format, shorter boundary, and the intention is lots of explosive cricket. So the opening batters for the Super Strikers are now out in the middle. It is Habib Khan and Aslan Amjad, two members of the Estonian men's national team. Habib, the skipper of the Super Strikers. And it looks like opening the bowling for the Hippos shall be Owen Feely. So it will be captain against captain for the first ball of the game. This is the first men's T10 league that has been held in Estonia since 2020, when we were host for an ECS. There was a women's T10 league earlier this year. As Owen comes in. He pushes that one through the covers. It'll just be one run. The Meeste Esiliiga was played earlier this year, won by Saaremaa Cricket Club. And Saaremaa Cricket Club is one of the clubs which forms the Hippos. Here come Owen into Aslan. Full toss, whipped in the air, and it's taken the catch by Chris. Coming in, Aslan is quite tall, but the umpire was very happy with the height. He's just indicating there. It looks like Aslan's going over to ask him how was the height, and the umpire's saying the height was fine. So the Hippos get a breakthrough very early on, removing national team captain Aslan Amjad for a golden duck. I'll be very, very happy with that as a start. New batter in for the Super Strikers, Marjarul. He'll be looking to hang around a little longer than Arslan was able to do on this occasion. So, being T10, all overs are bowled from the one end, so every single over of the match of both innings will be bowled from this end, the Kiev end. As we see, lots of fielders moving around due to the left-hander coming out. They're still sorting things out. It's an absolutely packed offside. There's a gully, a man at backward point, and then a man just a bit straighter than point. There is a mid-off. Owen beats the outside edge. You can see he's wanting to put it outside off stump for the left-hander. And there is one of the boundary riders for the Hippos on the offside at a deep point. And this is hit, and Chris is, gets both hands to it. Chris almost had 2 catches in the first over. Little appeal for a run out, but the batter had made his ground. In the end, probably just say a very good effort by Chris just to stop the ball. It was hit quite well to his left, but he got up, got both hands to it, and nearly had an opportunity for a second grab at it. As fielders adjusting now for the right-hander. Strays down the leg side for a wide. So yeah, it's the Hippos going with a 6-3 field. So the task is up for Owen to put everything outside off stump. He strays down leg again. It seems as though he's stuck in the line for the left-hander that he was doing earlier in the over. Here comes Owen into Habib. Much better line, hit very straight. That'll be 1 bounce and 4 runs. It's just going to roll past the commentary hut here, and Dave Robson, who's been on the boundary at long on, will come and fetch it. Very nicely hit by Habib, straight and true, and picking up the first boundary of the game. Whips this one off the body, straight to the man backward of square leg. And they'll just pick up the 1 run. That is the end of the first over. 9 for 1. I'd say both teams would be fairly happy with that. The strikers with a strike rate of 9 and over will be good going. As you see, the grass is lovely and green. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's not quite as lush as it was for the friendly matches against Iceland. It has been mowed. Groundsman Sam was running the mower over it this afternoon. But it won't be as quick as it was earlier in the summer when it was very dry. Max Sedgwick, the new bowler. This one's hit straight to Owen, and they're not going to risk his arm. Mac in again to Habib. Habib opens up. It's in the air. Dave Robson's coming on. Chris is going back for it. They're both wanting it, but it lands just in between the two of them. And they'll just pick up the 1 run. As that brings the left-hander, Marjarul, on strike. So we see Lots of hippos dancing across the field. So they're very eager to maintain this 6-3 field. And with one boundary rider on each side of the pitch, Owen Feely's just gone back to long on, and then there is a man deep backward point on the boundary. Loops this one up, beats the outside edge. Marjal showing some intent. Shapes up, chips this one. Owen's coming in, and he has overrun it. He just needed to pull up a little earlier, and he would have absolutely gobbled it, but instead he's run past it and then tried to take it over his head a bit behind him. Chance goes begging. That could have been a second wicket for the Hippos. So Mac bowling to Habib. And he has, that is just 6. The only thing you can say about that, picked it up, middle of the bat. Just a beautiful stroke play. And it has sailed over the boundary for 6. And it would have been 6 even if it was the full-sized boundary. Just a very good shot. So can Mac respond? Habib goes similar territory, and all Dave Robson can do is start jogging towards the logs, because that's where it's gone. Again, it's another good shot from Habib for 6. That would have still been a boundary if we were playing the full size. So back-to-back 6s to end what had been looking like a good over for Mac. Instead, the pendulum swings back towards the super strikers. They're 23 for 1 after 2. Habib sitting very nicely on 19 from 7. So Owen's making a few adjustments to the field. He's now getting the boundary rider on the offside to come a lot straighter. Is essentially a deep cover. Dave Robson, the new bowler, lefty to lefty. This has been hit straight to the cover fielder. Mac, who's just off your screen. Left arm bowls, left arm batters, always a good battle. Strays this time onto the body, gets it into the gap. It's going to get cut off, and they'll only be able to get the 1 run. Some good hustle in the field there from a couple of the Hippos, Darwin and Remo, as they do the shuffle again due to the right-hander now on strike. Here comes Dave. Full miss-hit from Habib, and that's a great diving stop on the boundary from Owen. Even with a miss-hit, it looked like Habib was going to get a 4, but a gallant effort to get down and cover it. You don't often see fielders diving here at Tiskre, but with a really good coverage of grass and a softer undersoil, a bit more confident to do so. Full toss in the air, bounces once just in front of Chris, and he gets it back in quickly to keep them down to the single. As once again we see Hippos crossing the field to go from one side to the other. Here comes Dave again to Habib. He dances down. He's beaten. Very, very close to getting an edge there. Habib unhappy with himself. Here comes Dave from the Kiev end. This one's hit out towards the point fielder. They'll pick up the 1 run. You would assume that any time the Hippos just get Habib hitting a single, they'll be very, very happy. But even more happy with any dot balls. 27 for 1. So that over definitely gets in the tally mark in the Hippos side with just the 4 runs coming from it. Kush, nice to see you in the chat, asking how long the power play is in T10. It's 3 overs, so it's just been completed. And we're going to see another change in the bowling. Mart is coming on. And we now see the field spread. We've got a long on, and then we've got a deep. All right, that's loopy, that's in the air, and that is 6. Dave Robson attempts to do a Michael Jordan to get to it. It was still a metre above his outstretched hand. Just 6 runs all the way. So, yeah, 3 boundary riders on the onside now for Habib. He goes offside to the 1 boundary rider out there at the deep cover position. A couple of Hippos fans, Ben Jones and Travis in the chat. Travis saying 120 and 130 will be a challenge for the Hippos. You would assume so. Here comes Mart again. Loopy, pitched. Dave Robson's coming in, takes the catch. Marjarul departs for 4. He struggled to be able to find boundaries. And Mart takes his scalp. Second wicket of the evening for the Hippos. And the new batter in for the Super Strikers is Ali Masood, one of many members of the Super Strikers team who play for the Estonian men's national team. So yeah, the 3 boundary riders of that long on, the cow corner and the deep mid wicket are all basically there. If you don't middle it, we're going to gobble you up. So here comes Mart. Once Ali has finished doing a little bit of gardening on the AstroTurf. Umpire's just double checking. Says get on with it. So Mart bowls. Looped up. He does not get hold of that Ali at all, and that will just be a single. It's a beautiful evening down here at Tiskre. He's got hold of that one, and that has absolutely flown out of here. Habib with another 6. Owen Feely's going to have to cross the road and enter into the long grass to hope to be able to fetch that ball back. Oh, he spotted it first time. Well done. So does Mart have a reply to Habib for that 6? Loops it up again. Habib waits, and he's put it about 4 meters to the right of Mac, who was just inside the boundary at long off. Picks up a 4. Very good over for the Super Strikers, despite losing a wicket. 18 runs coming from it, and their score goes up to 45 for 2 from 4 overs. Each bowler is only allowed a maximum of 2 overs in T10, which is one of the reasons why seeing a lot of rotation. But you would also sort of think, well, this is the best 2 batters that the Super Strikers have got left out here now. Probably not a bad idea to get your good bowlers of Owen and Dave on to face them. Instead, it's Pavo Petra. Looped up in the air. It's straight to Max Sedgwick. Oh, he's not been able to handle it. Palms it over his head. He's lucky it doesn't actually make it to the boundary, so just the one. And say that the one of these Hippo slow bowlers testing the patience of the batters who are used to much quicker stuff. And he's beating him outside off stump. Well bowled by Pavo Petra. Coming in once more. And that's a wide. He's just strayed a little bit too far. Much straighter. That is 6. Goes sailing over Mart's head on the boundary. Smacks into the sportsbet.io container. Umpire will have to have a little check of the ball because it hit the container quite quickly. So Pavo in again. Straight. Off drive. That's going to be 4. He's split the 2 fielders in the deep on the offside. Perfectly placed shot. Just waited on it. Sent it on its way. These are the overs that could be hurting the Hippos once they get to 12 and over. So hook this one, and again pierces the 2 fielders, this time on the onside. It was perfectly between Owen and Dave on the boundary. Just perfect placement from Habib, and he has sailed to 52 from 18 deliveries. He's going after the Hippos bowlers. Just pushes that one away to get retain the strike for the next over. So 17 from that one. You see Habib for his 53, 4 fours and 5 sixes. It looks as though Mac's going to come back on to bowl. I said I would have gone with Dave or Owen right now. These two have just been facing some slower stuff, some loopier stuff. Get one of the faster bowlers on, make the batter have to adjust to the change of speed. Here's Mac. This is in the air. Chris has taken the catch. That's the big wicket of Habib. That's the one they really wanted, and that's the one the Super Strikers were hoping would be able to carry his bat to get them to a really good score. So the change of bowler of Mac coming on has brought dividends for the Hippos. So, good thing Owen wasn't taking my advice. So the Hippos have picked up their third wicket. The new batter will be Cheyenne, who's showed himself to be very handy with the bat, a quick scorer. Had some good innings for the Strikers in the T20 league earlier this year. Let's see what he can do in the T10 format. Format where you don't get any time to build an innings, but you can still play intelligently. As Habib was showing just by picking the gaps earlier, but he failed to pick the gap in that previous delivery. So Max in, that's outside of off stump, and it's called a wide. Back once more in the air. That is 6. That is just absolutely sailing. That's another log ball. So Cheyenne comes straight in and into first gear. To Simon Quasi in the chat saying, come on you Hippos, big wicket. Definitely was a big wicket. So Mac in again. Cheyenne goes to the same area again, and all Dave Robson can do is watch it sail over the boundary for yet another 6. This one's gone over the logs, over the road, and through into the long grass. He's going to have to do some searching to find that one. Hopefully he followed it well. Well, he's beating around the bush. Doesn't look like he actually has any idea. He's being directed to go a bit to his right. There he is. That's it. He's got it. Good direction from Owen there. So Max starting to take a bit of punishment from Cheyenne after removing the big wicket of Habib. Has he got any response to those 2 6s? He dances down the wicket. So this one's over the boundary. It's 3 6s in a row. Max probably wondering to himself if he would have preferred Habib to be still out there. He's still got 2 balls to go. Cheyenne going to try to hit both of them for 6. He's dancing down. He absolutely is. There's another one. Bit straighter this time, but it's another one that just lands over what would have been a full-length boundary, what you will see in the 40-over league here tomorrow, and then bounces into the logs. 4 6s in a row. Max copping some punishment here from Cheyenne Khan, who has picked up the mantle from Habib and said, it's all right, mate. I'll get us there. Comes dancing again. He's missed this one. He's been stumped. He's gone. Well, what an over from Max Sedgwick. Starts with a wicket, then a wide, 4 6s in the middle, and then another wicket. That over has got absolutely everything in it. What you can't say about Cheyenne, he certainly didn't waste any balls. He faced 5 deliveries, and he hit 4 of them for 6, and then got stumped trying to go for a 5th 6 in a row. He's got his team up to 87 for 4 after 6 overs, so I think they'll be happy with that. I think that's a pretty good return for your investment. Get 24 from 5 balls. So Mac finishes with 2 for 39 from his 2 overs. And the new batter out is Gull, and he's going to be facing a new bowler, Remo. It was a very easy stumping. Hi, Venki. So Remo coming into Ali Masood, who's just been a spectator. This one's wide down the leg side. They should pick up another one. They're ambling through. Well, Ali Masood has just been stuck down the non-striker's end, first watching Habib hit boundaries, then watching Cheyenne, and he finally gets on face and he gets a wide. So now Remo will be bowling to the new man Gull. Oh, a little under edge, and it just beats the keeper. Picks up the 1 run. Here comes Remo from the Kiev end. Outside off stump. Hit away, straight to a fielder though. Oh, Max made a bit of a meal of that one. He shakes his head, but he's given away a boundary. He was right behind it, but then not sure what happened. Suddenly, it was through him. And I apologise, it wasn't Mac. It was Pavo Peta. So, Remo in once more to Ali Masood. Tries to pull that one away. He's just going to get the 1 run. Dave Robson stopping it on the boundary. Yeah, we don't change ends to save time. Not so much of copying the ECN rules of just saving time. Getting through it nice and quick. Here he is again. Straighter ball. Miss-hit. Straight to Chris. A little bit of a mix-up between the batters, but they are safe. Sun comes out again from behind the clouds. Absolutely bathed in sunshine here at Tiskre. That'll be a wide. Looks like he saw Gull coming forward and just pushed it a little bit wider. Straighter ball in the air, but that's sailing over the boundary. That will be 6. It's another log ball. So Gull getting in on the 6 action. If you prefer longer formats, tomorrow we'll have the first of our Pro 40 Liga matches live from 11. That will be another wide. That'll be the Stallions versus United here on ground 1. Then on Sunday, we'll have 4 T10 matches back-to-back starting at 10 a.m. Estonian time. It's a much better ball, and he's beaten the outside edge of Gull. So the over comes to an end. Super Strikers 103 for 4 after 7. Lots and lots of cricket live on our YouTube channel each weekend from now until mid-September. Every Friday, we'll have one T10 match. Every Saturday, we'll have one Pro 40 match. And every Sunday, we'll have 4 men's T10 matches. So Mart coming on to bowl. Ali Masood opened up his stance a little. It's lofted. Should be stopped on the boundary. It is. So he'll just get the 1 run. Ali not quite hitting through the line of the ball. Martin again, very loopy, and I think that one's actually landed off the pitch. It has. It's been called a no ball, so he's allowed to hit it, but he is limping. I didn't see what he did there. Once he hit the ball, my attention went to the umpire. So he does pick up the 1 run because it landed off the pitch. It's a no ball, and it's also a free hit. Gould facing the free hit from Mart, and he has smashed that. Should be 6, and it is. Kush asking if there'll be live streaming for 40 overs from ground 2. I'm afraid there will not be live streaming from ground 2 at all. We're just putting all of the investment into the stream from ground 1 to make that as good as possible. Hi, Kev. It's a shame. I'd rather have you in here with me to bounce off of, and your chuckling laughter. Oh, he smashed that one straight into his own foot. I know how that feels. I used to do a lot when I was batting. And that's a wide. In again. He doesn't get hold of that. Fielder's coming around. It's well stopped just inside the boundary. That's Max Cedric doing the boundary riding out there, saving his team 3 runs. So Mart in once more. Oh, that's called a wide. Gould's getting a bit confused by the loopiness of Mart's bowling. He didn't get confused by that one. He has absolutely launched that. It is just 6 runs. Probably might have been just a 4, just landing inside the rope on the 70-metre boundary. But still, well hit. It's over, really starting to add up and doing very well for the Super Strikers. We're now past that 120 mark into that territory that Travis mentioned right back at the start of the innings of being a challenge for the Hippos. Loops up again. Oh, he's missed it. He's gone for the stumping. I think he might have just got back and the umpire says not out. It was so slow. Udesh, the wicketkeeper, had to wait for it to bounce over the stumps. Otherwise, he would have made it a no ball if he grabbed it before. Thank you, asking, could you please talk about the field setup? Do you mean the positioning of the fielders? I'm not sure what you mean by field setup or the setup of the field. I need clarification there, Venky. So Dave Robson's coming back on to bowl. The umpires are just having a quick little chat. I think they're just double checking the previous over. It was 6 legal deliveries. So they're returning to their positions. This one's launched and it's 6. Mark with a little half-hearted jump just to leap up and see how high it was above him. So well hit by Ali Masood. On the leg side, there's a man at backward square. There's a mid-wicket. There's a man on cow corner. Long on. And this has been hit just over the man at deep mid-wicket. And that is another 6. Over on the offside, we've got a squarish long off. And then we've got cover, an extra cover, and a gully fielder. Dave Robson, left arm over, bringing it across the body of the right-hander. That's too short, and that's hit over the man backward of square leg, and that will be 4. He really needs to pitch that up a little bit better. Six, 6, and 4 off this over so far. And it's going to result in him changing to around the wicket. Hit very straight. There is a fielder there, and he gobbles it up, and he manages to stay just inside the rope. So the change has worked for Robson as he does a little dance. Hippos get a wicket, removing Ali Masood. GM asking if Robbo is injured. He's not running in like normal. He got injured back in Sweden when playing for the national team in the T10 competition there. And I think he's just pacing himself as he's got to play a 40-over league match tomorrow on ground 2 against the Strikers. So I think he's not going to use up all his energy tonight. This is a straight one, clatters into the pads. That will be a dot ball. So this coming around the wicket really working for Dave. Oh, but there's been a misfield and they're going to sneak a run. Little lazy. And that is just going to sail straight over the boundary for 6. "23 runs coming from that. So Dave finishes with 1 for 27 because his first over was none for 4. And the Super Strikers move to 144 for 5. That's going to take a gargantuan effort from a couple of Hippos. There's not a lot of batting depth in the team this evening. So Owen, the captain, coming back on to bowl the last over. Gull on strike. The Super Strikers looking to get the score to 160 or more. In the air, there's 3 fielders converging on it. I think that's Darwin who was the one who won the race, but he wasn't able to take it. So just the 1 run. Owen in again. Cut away. Heading towards the boundary, and that will be 4. Nice shot from Gull. Yes, Kev, you did see Dave doing the bigger chainsaw. Here comes on again. This one's in the air. It's going to fall safe. Owen into Ilias. Ilias has this one in the air again. This time there is a fielder underneath it, but he's misjudged it. Say, if the Hippos, if the catching had just been a little bit better, they probably could have reduced this target by 20, 25 runs. Owen in once more to Ilias. Slaps up one straight, and Dave Robson does his best flying fish, but it was still over his outstretched hand. And another 6 to the total. So the final ball of the Super Strikers innings. Owen Feely to Ilias Hassan. And it goes down the leg side for a wide. So we're going to go back and do it all again. They just weren't quite ready to draw a line underneath the innings. Owen wants more. Short, and he's missed it. So a dot ball to complete the Super Strikers innings. They end up on 159 for the loss of 5 wickets from their 10 overs. A really good scoring rate, mostly thanks to Habib Khan with his 53 from 20. Very good contributions from Ali, from Gul, and can't forget Cheyenne with his flurry of 24 from 5. Also, a few Hippos picking up some wickets. Mac with 2. Stand out. So we'll take a short break. It's not windy here, Kev. Just saw your question in the chat. No, there's a nice breeze. It's very pleasant conditions. The sun is absolutely out. It's very clear sky. And I'll take a short break. We'll be back with the run chase. The Hippos needing 160 for victory. So we are back. Well, I'm back. The players are out on the field, and so are the umpires. The Hippos again needing 160 runs. A tall order. Opening the batting for the Hippos will be Dave Robson, and on strike it looks to be Rudesh. Looks like Ilias opening the bowling for the Super Strikers. Hopefully the live score will recommence on your screen shortly as we have the first ball, and that's wide. Ball just slipping away there. It's not Ilias, apologies. It's Habe. I was just expecting Ilias to bowl. That's a lovely shot, and that will be 4 runs to get the Hippos chase started. You might recall I was mentioning before about one of the reasons the Hippos might have chosen to bowl first was that the sun started to get a little lower at this time of night. There is a fielder on the boundary at deep mid-wicket. So he's looking straight at the sun, and he doesn't have a hat, and he doesn't have sunglasses, and he is standing there with the hand over his eyes. He's completely blinded. So Zahab in again. This one's just pushed to the point fielder. There's an appeal, and he's walking. The first wicket falls. Rudesh, he picked out the field. I don't know why he started. Got halfway down the crease, and he was a mile out of his territory, and that's a terrible start for the Hippos. Really, Rudesh wasn't the one looking into the sun. He shouldn't have had any trouble seeing the fielder there. So, similarly to the Super Strikers innings, the Hippos lose a wicket very early on. Still waiting for the wicket to get put into the live score. Either the technology's playing up, or it's the fact that they're giving it to the oldest member of the team to look after it. There's a half-hearted appeal from the bowler. The new batter is Mart. One of the youngsters is trying to explain to Mac how to use the tablet. It's in the air. Fielder comes in. It's Habib. He takes the catch very comfortably, and Mart departs without scoring. So that will be a duck for him, and 2 wickets falling for the Hippos in the first over. The Super Strikers are completely and utterly on top here, putting together an excellent total in the first innings and defending it by removing Hippos batters in very short shrift. In comes O'Habe. Blocked out by the new batter. Maybe Remo. Looks like Remo. The live score is starting to catch up. Zohaib in again. Remo just blocks this one away. And that's the end of the first over. The Hippos 5 for 2. There's absolutely no doubt that that was a super strikers over. Picking up 2 wickets. Only giving up 5 runs, 1 boundary and 1 wide. Dave Robson, who opened the batting, is finally going to get to face a ball after being a spectator at the non-strikers end for the entirety of the first over. And the second over is going to be bowled by Gull. He's coming into Dave. Loopy, pulled away, no ball. And a 4, I believe. Just waiting for the umpire to confirm. And in there, the umpire is signalling the 4. So, in one delivery, the Hippos double their score. And a lot rests on Dave's shoulders now, really, as the most recognised batter. A little fuller this time from Gull. Wraps Dave on the pads. Bit of a half-hearted appeal. Kev asking the start time for the Pro 40 games. The Pro 40 games start at 11 a.m. Estonian time. Dave pulls this one away into the gap. That will be another 4. If Gould keeps putting anything on Dave's body, he is just going to whack it into the massive gaps on the leg side. There's a very, very straight long on you can see on your screen, Arslan Amjad there. And then there is a man on the boundary at cow corner. And then there is a very square mid-wicket on the 30-yard circle. This time Dave doesn't quite get hold of it, so he'll just pick up the 1 run. But yeah, there's no square leg. There's no fine leg or 45. The fielders are still adjusting. The bowler wants to come in even though there's a fielder jogging into position. Comes in this time to Remo. He looks to pull away, an appeal for LBW, and he's not given it. Squared him up. Did look like maybe the impact was just outside the line of off stump. But we are on a bit of an angle here from the commentary hut and the camera, so it's not that easy to tell. This time he's hit this one to long off. And the Hippos add 1 to the total. Both Pro 40 matches start at 11 o'clock tomorrow. The T10 League matches on Sunday start at 10. Always go by what's in the ECA app. So Gull in again. Remo on strike. Pushes this one to mid-wicket, scampering through. It's a good throw. If he had a hit, I think it might have been very, very close. pick up the single. And that's another 4 to the total for the Hippos. I think Remo's job here should just be to get Dave on strike. Even when he's not hitting it cleanly, he's still getting a 4. Zohaib in again. Yeah, smacks that one, but it's straight to the cover fielder. Sounded good off the bat here. Yes, it's a 50-metre boundary. T10, 50-metre boundary. Swing and a miss this time from Dave. So had beating him outside off. Zohaib strays down leg side, and that will be a wide. Dave's launched that one. It's into the gap. That should be 4. Habib's trying to cut it off, but he can't. Another boundary to the Hippos. But 10 runs and over is not going to do it for them. It's certainly a lot better than what they got from the first over. So Zohaib to Dave. This time Habib will do the fielding, so it'll just be the 1 run. I don't think the Hippos will be fairly happy with that, as it's the last ball of the over, so it means Dave will retain the strike. You're welcome, Budrill. Yeah. Yeah, the 30-yard circle is marked. I can see it very, very, very well from my position, but with the sun coming down, you won't be able to see it on the camera. Should have put the discs out. So Cheyenne coming on to bowl now. He's been quite handy with the ball for the strikers in the T20 league earlier this year. This is not a good ball. He starts off with a no ball. Been called no ball for height. Past the batter above the waist, and it will be a free hit. So what can Dave do with the free hit? He can miss it. Trying a little bit too much, but also looked like Sean went with a quicker delivery there. Skidded it through. Dave Wets on this one, doesn't get hold of it. We'll just pick up the single. Picks out one of the only 3 fielders on the onside. The Super Strikers managed to find a cap for the fielder who's out in the deep staring into the sun. Still think he's a bit blind. Remo gets that one round the corner. It's racing to the boundary, and that will be 4. Very well played. Using the pace of the ball against the bowler. Just guided it round the corner. Cheyenne again to Remo. This time it's a wide. left-hand, right-hand combinations causing issues for bowlers. Struggled a little bit. And they just pick up a single. A little bit of a wild throw. The fielders who are on the right of your screen are all staring straight into the sun. It is going to be slightly problematic. Shine short to Dave. He hooks that one, and that will be 4. Dave moves 23 from 13. Here comes Cheyenne again to Dave. This time it's outside off. Just drives that one to the long off fielder for a single. Dave Robson, one of the members of the Australian men's national team playing in this match, also mentioned the national team skipper Aslan Amjad. You can just see him in the bottom left of your screen. That's his head popping up above the score banner. Habib Khan, Ali Masood out there also, and the Australian men's national team will be going off to the ECC, the European Cricket Championships, in October in Spain. 32 different European countries. Estonia are in Group C. So playing T10 domestic league is very good preparation for that. So Gould back onto bowl. Robson drives this one to long off. Fielder takes a little bit of a bobble. But it does not make it to the boundary, so it's just a single. Gould to Remo now. Loopy, full toss, slapped away, but he's picked out the fielder on the boundary. Now he's got a cap on. He has no problems fielding that one. But it's been called a no ball. And the no ball, I believe, is because of the number of fielders outside the inner circle. The umpire's pointed to the fielder just at square leg. So free hit, and Robson makes the maximum of this. We have a 6, lovely and straight, back over the bowler's head. He may not have been able to capitalise on the previous free hit he got, but he does so this time. And again, full toss, and this is launched. Absolutely launched. That is massive. That has landed about 10 centimetres from the logs. If you know how far the logs along Leverty, the road behind me, are away from the ground, that was massive. Absolutely massive. Absolutely the biggest 6 we've seen here tonight. Huge hit from Dave. If they're going to bowl full tosses at him, he's going to have to do that to them. They're just gifts. Absolute gifts. Gould in again. Outside off, so he strays it onto the legs. He smashed this one away for another 6. Dave, you did not tell me it was your birthday. Why is Gould the only one who's allowed to give you presents? These are absolute gifts for Dave. He must be loving this. 3 6s in a row. We saw Cheyenne in the first innings hit 4 6s in a row and then get out. Appears to be a little bit of a conversation going on. Ali Masood coming in and having a chat with Gould, because they've got no fielders on leg side, and if he bowls it on the body, Dave's got almost half a field to play with. All he's got to do is just hit it either side of Habib, who is now going to be on the boundary. But I don't think they've got 4 in, do they? They just do. This one goes over the man who's been brought in inside the ring to allow Habib to be on the boundary, and that means Dave picks up a 4. So he wasn't able to get 4 sixes in a row like Cheyenne. But with the amount of runs he's getting off this over, I don't think he's too bothered whether that was a 6 or a 4. This has been massive. Gould coming in again. It's another full toss. It's smashed away. It is another 6. 4 sixes, 1 4, a single, and a no ball with a single. Dave gets to 53 from 20 deliveries, 6 4s, 4 6s. The Hippos 70 for 2 after 5 overs. They need 90 from 30 more balls. And if Dave Robson stays out there for those 30 balls and gets to face most of them, don't write the Hippos off just yet. Habib's going to come on to bowl now. You see, this is partnership's been 65 runs because Dave hadn't faced a ball when Remo came out. And I'm guessing Habib wasn't necessarily planning on bowling because this is not his full run-up. So he hasn't prepared. So Habib into Remo. That sounded like bat. It completely sounded like bat. What are they appealing for? Someone else see something I didn't see? Looked like it just came off straight off the bat. And there's been another no ball for the fielders. They've got too many fielders outside the ring. The super strikers have got to get them. They've got to sort it out. It's just getting ridiculous. Appealing for balls that have been hit out of the middle of the bat and not having enough fielders inside the ring. They have to have 4 fielders inside the ring, not including the wicketkeeper and the bowler. And I can see at the moment there are 4. There is the man at backward point, and then there's 3 on the onside who make up that 4. Also now looks like the fly slip. I guess it's the fly slip. I guess he was on the... Remo will just pick up a single here. I'll bring Dave back onto strike. Let's see what type of adjustments they make to the field. Well, they're only having 3 fielders on the onside, and one of them is a very, very straight long on. Then also now pushing the deep square leg around to more being a deep mid wicket, and then there's a guy in cow corner in between the two. Dave plays this into the offside. It's a very packed ring there, so he can't beat that. Just picks up the 1 run. So they now bring in the point fielder and the fly slip for Remo. Habib in, straight, pushed to the long on for 1 run. Oh, things are quieting down after the barrage of boundaries from Dave in the previous over. Keeping things a little bit tighter. Short, pulled, and as I said, there's no one out there on the onside, and so it trickles over the boundary for 4. Dave did not have to hit it cleanly, and he didn't, but all he had to do was get something on it, and it just rolled away. 4 more to the total. They're still leaving that massive gap for him. And he's just turned this one round the corner. He didn't get enough on this one, so they're going to think about 2, but instead the fielder from Fly Slip had to come around and do the fielding. Dave will retain the strike. 9 from the over. Hippos 2 for 79 after 6. And you would say they really did need over 15, 16 again from that over to really be able to have any chance of getting close to the total. Not enough boundaries. Looks like Elias is going to come on to bowl. Elias into Dave. Just hits that one off the toe of the bat. And chooses not to take a run. A ring of fielders on the offside, and then the 3 boundary riders on the onside. Short, slapped, it's picked the gap. Oh no, that's... Well, the unlucky fielder at long on, sort of long off, does brilliantly, gets the hand out. You would have thought, yep, I've stopped the boundary, but it still had just enough force on it. And Arslan, who was currently running around to back him up, it sent him the wrong way. Drives this one through the covers, sends Remo back, says, "No, I don't want a single. It's boundaries or nothing." In again. Drives this one straight. Elias does the fielding. Is to Pig asking Pog, what is the fielding position all about? It's all about put it outside off stump. When they fail to do that, they get punished. Dave doesn't get hold of this one, but it goes into the humongous empty zone that is the onside of the field. And this time he does take the single. And let Remo face 1 ball. As the field adjusts, it's a little bit more of a balanced field for Remo. Here comes Elias, short, pulls that one away, and that's into the gap, and that's 4. To get 9 runs. Normally you'd say that's a very good return for the batting side, but not when they are requiring such a massive total. But they've done well. Dave in particular sitting on 64 from 28 deliveries so far. And going to have Arslan Amjad come on to bowl. No, sorry, it's not Arslan, it's Tarun. Arslan's standing right in front of me. So, Tarun, the new bowler. Habib's going off out into the boundary. Strangely taking his sunglasses off when he's staring into the sun. Here comes Tarun. Dave smashes that over Arslan's head, and that is 6. Just completely and utterly in Dave's hitting arc. Right there for him to smash. Absolutely effortless shot. Habib's coming over to talk to Tarun. The only thing he could be saying to him is, put it outside off. We've got an offside field. We've got nobody on the onside. There's one very lonely man out who is actually a bit more closer to deep square leg now. Short. He tries to pull it, doesn't quite get hold of it. Oh, and the fielder's slipped over, and he's going to pick up a 4 for a nothing shot. Just to mid-off. The fielder was really trying too much, overran it, slipped, and the ball just trickled past him. That's the thing here with the 50-metre boundary. A misfield on the 30-yard circle can result in a boundary. So Tarun in again. Dave doesn't quite get hold of this one. It's wide. Arslan's rushing around. He doesn't get to it. That's another 4. Going to be curious to ask Dave of, so how many boundaries did you hit off mishits? I'm not going to read what Travis wrote because then they'll be putting the mockers on. Short, pulled, and that's gone sailing over Arslan's head on the boundary. That's 6 more to the total. Dave is really enjoying these gifts from Tarun. 6, 4, 4, 6. Dave is 84 from 32. Tarun coming in. Short. Cut away, racing straight to the man on the boundary. Habib does the fielding, so Dave just picks up a single. A 104-run partnership between these two. It's an excellent effort, especially in T10, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Ramo mishits this one again. It's racing to the boundary. Fielder's coming around. He's going to just cut it off, and they'll get back for 2. A good result for the Hippos, as that will mean Dave will be on strike for the next over. Ramo's been the quiet achiever in the partnership, but he's done what has been required of him, scoring at 16 from 14 deliveries. And he's got one of the best seats in the house for watching Dave smash boundaries. So, who's going to come on? It looks like Elias to bowl the penultimate over. Field's coming out. So, we've still only got 3 fielders leg side, cow corner, deep square, and very straight long on. Slapped in the air, and that's 6. It's just leaded just over. It was very flat, but he picked the gap. So 6 more to the total. Dave moves to 91. I'm not using the C word or the T word. or the H word. I'm just going to stop using words until he scores a few more runs. So, yes, says, actually, you stay back on that boundary right where he just hit it. And comes in again. Miss hit from Dave. He's got it wide. The deep square leg had come in, so he'll only get the one run. The deep square had to come inside the circle so that the fielder for Dave, who was then put on the boundary where he hit the previous 6, could be on the boundary. So, Remo on strike. Elias coming in from the Kiev end. Short, pulls this one away. That's going to be 4 runs. Nicely timed there by Remo. Yeah, so if Hippos had been able to keep the Super Strikers to like 140, they could have definitely got this. Oh, Remo! That's a massive 6. He has just picked that up and just whacked it out of the ground. Excellent knock. The Super Strikers are all starting to look around at each other and thinking, hang on a minute, could they still do this? 32 from 8 balls. Well, if we get 6 more 6s, they'll easily do it. Elias into Remo, Fuller, wraps him on the pads. There's an appeal, but it was down leg side. They get through for a leg by. The fielder has forgotten to go for the ball, and it's gone for 4. It was not even close to being out LB. It was way down leg side. Very easy to see, and no one went for the ball. So 4 leg buys get added to the total. This over is looking fantastic for the Hippos. 132 for 2. Remo slaps that one. Should just be a single. Well, which means he'll retain the strike. Dave is still sat on 92. Remo's moved to 27 from 18. The Hippos need 27 from 6. And you'd say that if Dave was actually on strike, they would have been a good chance. Remo did hit a 6 in that previous over, straight after he'd hit a 4. But they can afford for Remo to hit a single and then 5 boundaries from Dave, and they'll have won it. Unless they're all 4s. And they just need a good combination of the 6s and the 4s. So, Habib bowling the last over. Short, pulled in the air. Habib is underneath it, and he takes the catch. Remo departs for a good knock of 27 from 19. Part of a very big partnership, 128 run partnership, if my maths is right. It was a fantastic partnership between the two of them. It comes to an end. So the Hippos captain for T10, Owen Feely, is the new batter. Oh, Kush saying the first time he's seen 4 leg buys. I've seen 4 leg buys in Test cricket quite a few times. particularly when the great West Indian fast bowlers in the late 70s, early 80s, batters on the pads and it would just race to the boundary. A bit into Owen. He just chops this. He's not able to get it in way, and you would say that unless we get some no balls, that would be it. 4 deliveries to get 27 runs. It's now looking at bridge too far. Slap this one just wide of the fielder. He's overrun it, and that will be 4. It's probably the worst shot Owen's ever played to get 4 runs. Yeah, I know what you mean, Kush, but yeah, I've seen it before. It's definitely rare. Very, very rare. One of the main reasons why it's rarer these days is keepers are a lot more athletic. Oh, he's just guided that one away for 4. Lovely shot from Owen there. Well played. Well, poor old Dave is going to get stuck. And doesn't look like he's going to get a chance to bring up triple figures. So Habib in to Owen. That's gone through the keeper. They are going to get through for 1. And that will be a bye. So one last delivery. Dave's on 92. So unless it's a no ball, he's not going to get, and he hits a boundary off that no ball, he's not going to get a chance for the 100. Bit of a shame, but it's been very, very enjoyable. Habib into Dave, short, cuts up, drives that one through the covers for 4. Good hit. And that will be the end of the innings. The Hippos finishing on 146 for 3. Dave Robson, 96 not out. A phenomenal performance. And you would say that if he'd just gotten to face 1 or 2 more deliveries, he definitely would have got the century. It would have been the first T10 century for Estonian Meeste Esiliiga. But it's not to be. And the Super Strikers have won by 13 runs. And we thought that the 159 was way, way out of reach. But the Hippos made a very good go at it to provide us with very entertaining second innings. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as I said, we've got more live cricket here from Estonia tomorrow from 11 a.m. Pro 40 Liga. We have the Stallions versus United here on ground 1. And then on Sunday, we'll have 4 more T10 matches featuring Stallions, United, Rising Stars, Vikings, and as well the Estonian battle group. We have a team from the NATO base, soldiers who are based there serving as part of the NATO contingency here in Estonia, who are taking part in our Meeste Esiliiga, and they'll be in action on Sunday. We'll have 4 games, 10 a.m., 12:30, 3 p.m. and 5:30. I hope you join us for some of that action. Thank you very much, and good night.